So I thought I'd take a break from GB News and branch out into other right wing crazy rhetoric. And it just so happens that Turning Point, the absolutely bizarre, silly propaganda program in America, has a UK counterpart, Turning Point UK. Of course, Turning Point is so fucking mental that Turning Point UK is just the videos from the US version but put on the UK platform because no one has met the level of crazy of Charlie Kirk. And yeah, let's just watch a couple of his videos, and because they're quite short, and he's very much from the Ben Shapiro school of watch me own this person. As you can see by this video, Charlie Kirk destroys 100 gender crazies. I don't know what that. Does he destroy 100 people in this? I don't get it. Anyway, we'll see. Let's watch what Charlie Kirk and Turning Point UK has to offer.
So what exactly about me will you be protesting?
I think that you're a transphobic piece.
What, that I believe there's only two genders?
Yes.
Oh, okay. How many genders are there?
I don't think that's a quantifiable number. I think gender is an open concept.
How about like 100? Is that too many?
I think I just said it's not quantifiable.
Just ignored it there. It's not a quantifiable number. There's no set number. Oh, so like 100. Oh yeah, of course. Oh, why are they like this? So I don't know why it's a hard concept for them to grasp. Gender is a spectrum. It's like saying, well, how many types of speed are there? Well, there's only two types of speed, obviously. There's stop, 0, and 60 miles per hour. There's no other types of speed. It's either you're 0 or you're 60. And then there's this guy going, well, no, it's like it's a spectrum, isn't it? You start at 0, but you can go on for ages, and there's loads of bits in between. And he's like, oh, so how many speeds are? Like 100 different speeds? No, like you're not listening. It's a scale. I don't know why that's a hard concept for them to grasp, because they never debate against it. They don't have a point against it being a spectrum. They just have to go for the like crazy, oh, so like 600 million genders. Oh, fuck off, mate.
Every time you annoy us, we add 5.
Oh, okay. So unlimited amounts of gender.
Epic.
So you respect a kaleo gender, which is people who believe they're from outer space? Because that's a new gender that just came out.
Sure, that sounds awesome.
Okay.
New gender that's just came out. Oh, lads, new gender has dropped.
Gender and sex are not directly related at all.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay. So genders.
No, not directly. They're related in the abstract. So because the sex you're born with typically corresponds with a very common gender in the old binary, then it connects that way, but we wouldn't say they connect directly because that's just a category issue. So, I mean, what example could you create? Imagine saying there's only two types of books, fiction and non-fiction. When you write a book, it's going to fall into one of those categories, right? And generally speaking, for a long time, we could go, well, this is how we'll categorize them. Non-fiction, fiction. And you're either non-fiction or you are fiction. But then some people start saying, well, this has part fiction in it, but it's also part non-fiction. It has both. No, that's not allowed. You have to be one or the other. But no, like, I've actually wrote a book, and there's sections of it that's fictional, that's created, but then in between I put non-fiction elements. I've got aspects of non-fiction and aspects of fiction, and they both coexist. No, not allowed. And then once you debate this person, it gets to the point of what? So there's infinite amount of types of text now, are they? 100 types of text. And then you start breaking it down and you go, well, yeah, actually. So there's horror, there's romance, there's fantasy. And then there's different types of like fantasy, isn't there, as well? There's like historical fantasy, there's like sci-fi fantasy. And when you keep breaking it down, there's all these different things. And that's the same thing with gender. in a perfect world, if people got over this binary thing, gender wouldn't be really an issue anymore. Because, truthfully, even if you associate yourself as a man, you might have different aspects of your masculinity and different aspects of femininity as well than another person who considers themselves a man next to you. And you guys would get on famously, you might not, I don't know, it depends. But the gender doesn't factor itself into it. The fact is, everyone is different. Gender is all about the scale between masculinity and femininity, which are also broad concepts, by the way, and also humanly made. But that's the idea, and it shouldn't be an issue. And sex, because we know it doesn't always correspond to gender, that's the point where you start going, well, maybe they're not actually that linked. Turns out, maybe just because you're born with a penis, that doesn't mean we can assume certain things about you. That's how it goes. And the gender and sexuality are also different, by the way. So, being attracted to a man, being attracted to a woman, being attracted to anyone, not being attracted to anyone, all those different broad categories, that also has nothing to do with gender in the abstract either, because you could be born with a penis, consider yourself a woman, you're a trans woman, but you might still be attracted to women. And that's fine. Like, why is that an issue? But right-wing people, and Charlie Kirk's big religious guy as well, religious people alongside the right-wing sort of philosophy is a terrible breeding ground for this bullshit. So this is why he's so against it. His brain is poisoned by these two biases.
It's just a social construct. So where on your body is gender then?
It's not a,
Brain.
it's not a biological concept.
But it's somewhere.
Body is idiocy.
Well, I wouldn't say that would exist in my particular being, because gender and sex are directly related. You could try to ignore that all you want.
I mean, yeah.
Well, he's doing the thing where it's like, well, I think it is.
But if you don't have societal or biological standards, then you could divulge into chaos.
No,
You divulge into chaos.
quantify
Hundreds
that.
of genders, 500.
Why not?
Well, because if people don't have any... So for example, do you think 3-year-olds should be able to choose whatever gender they are?
Well, that's not an example of what you just said, mate. Like, he's getting destroyed here. Why has he put that he's destroyed people? He's absolutely getting laid into. You can tell the confidence on those two lads, and the third guy clearly as well. But the confidence is in their body language and on the faces. They are smashing Charlie Kirk here. And he's being proper awkward. He's all hunched up and he's like pacing back and forward.
Really? Absolutely. So a 3-year-old should have equal, born a biological male.
Hang on. Charlie Kirk would tell you that gender and sex are the same thing. 3-year-olds aren't sexually active. So when a 3-year-old born with a penis, decides, actually, you know what? I quite fancy playing with this doll. And you know what? I might want to wear high heels because I see my mum wearing them and I'm quite curious about them. That's not based on sex, mate. Is it? That is, in essence, I don't even want to call it a gender choice. It is, but I don't even want to call it a gender choice because, once again, this little kid is not considering their gender identity when they do this. They are just living their life. They are just letting their personality come out. And maybe in several years' time, that child will make a decision on themselves. Maybe they'll decide they are a woman. Maybe they'll decide they're not a woman. Maybe they decide they are a man. Maybe they decide they're gay. Maybe they decide they're a cis male straight. All these decisions, it's just the child living their life. Why do we have to quantify it with a gender? Why is Charlie Kirk and people like him focusing on this? Oh, so we should let 3-year-olds choose their genders. Well, how about we just let 3-year-olds live their lives and not pigeonhole them? Why not give them the freedom and the creativity to just experience the world how they want to experience it.
And a parent says, oh yeah, you know, there's no difference between men and women. That's perfectly fine.
That's beautiful. I love that. That's awesome.
Do you think there's differences
love
between
that.
men and women?
Between males and females?
Both. It's the same thing. Yes.
No, they're not.
No, they are the same. Gender and sex are directly related.
Oh, it's fourth person.
Playing the same language game as you are.
Yeah.
Wittgensteinian term.
Oh,
He's getting
actually,
fucking
everyone in science
destroyed.
believes that. Yeah. People can identify whatever they'd like, but they're just
Oh, there's like
wrong.
loads of people around him. There's an old guy with him.
I think sex and genetics.
Because when you start to police my speech and go after children, it becomes my problem.
I think
But he's policing their speech. He's telling them, oh no, they're definitely the same thing, and definitely a spectrum. He's policing their speech. But the difference is, their speech is backed by science and study. Your speech is backed by crazy right-wing people in your camp and outdated Bible verses and people who read those outdated Bible verses. Hey, news for you guys, because I'm not an edgy atheist. I am an atheist, but I'm not super edgy atheist who hates religion. But news to my atheist friends out there, or people who hate like Christians and stuff. I would say in this day and age, I won't say the majority, but I would say a decent number of Christians are not transphobic. I would say if you find a Christian that's pretty well read in this subject, they'll probably tell you, oh yeah, gender's a spectrum. I don't think we can attack religion on this regard. We can attack Charlie Kirk's take on religion because it's archaic, but there you go.
You guys do. If you misgender someone in California, you could go to jail. Do you believe in that?
yeah, that's sex discrimination.
You believe someone should be able to go to jail if they misgender somebody.
I don't think that bosses should be.
So calling a biological
I don't agree they should go to jail, but they're definitely worthy of being ridiculed.
male, it's on the books as a law in California, so we believe in getting it off the books, yes or
I
no?
mean, it's citation needed, really, but... Oh, that was fun. That was fun. Oh, he got destroyed there. How was he presenting that like a victory? He was absolutely rimmed there by those guys. I mean, he was outnumbered. I'll give you some benefit of the doubt, Charlie. You were outnumbered there. But how can you post that video as if it was a victory? That's embarrassing, that, mate. What the fuck are you doing? I don't think we should leave it there. I think we should watch another. So let's go to this next one. I've got another one queued up. Alright, so this one is called Charlie Kirk Destroys Woke British Student. Low bar and destroying guys now. Destroying students, Charlie. Why do they always go after students, by the way? That's always funny, isn't it? These great right-wing thinkers of America like Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk. And they're like, you know who I'll attack? Young adults who haven't really made up their mind on most things yet and not really that confident in their beliefs just yet. Let's attack them.
How can you decide that country is like the best country? Like what are your
By every standard possible.
you're
Most patents. How about the most patents? The most medical advancements, the most diseases eradicated.
How does most
Hang on, so I think she asked, why do you consider America the best country in the world? And he just said, by every standard. Right, okay, Charlie, so let's see, so medical league tables, education, I know, freedom, liberty, crime statistics, I don't know. Poverty line. How many things do you want me to list where America is so substandard? It's baffling. Like, it's absolutely baffling that supposed richest, freest, most advanced country in the world is so fucking low down. Mental. This is an argument from a completely dishonest person because he knows this is not true. The fact is, he knows it's not true and he doesn't care because he looks at something like, say, statistics on poverty and he sees how low America is in that scale, just on wellness of life for percentage population. He sees how low it is. the grand scheme of things. And he goes, it doesn't actually matter. They all deserve to be poor. That's what he genuinely will believe. But he's being dishonest when he says America are the greatest in every conceivable way. Other than like percentage of the economy spent on killing other countries and prison population, I don't think there's anything America tops. Really? Like even like production, like China smashed them ages ago. Leave.
The most money ever given away, the most wealth ever created. No, but I know far more about economics than anyone who went to the London School of Economics. Happy to.
I know more about economics than anyone who has ever been to the London School of Economics.
So most monopolies are created by government. Sure. Yes, but I do understand Keynes. I understand all that horrible economic theory. Yeah, the government is the ultimate monopoly.
Wow.
Right? How is it not? Government has a monopoly on power.
No. Let me ask a question. So if
Sure.
you understand this monopolistic economic structure, then how can you say that patents create incentives,
They do actually. I think patent laws should be mostly de-emphasized.
Like, why do you think that I said it because of having
No, I think patents should be about a year or 2 years, not 30 or 40 years. So
Right, okay, so
that's
you do believe in kind of making sure that a patent doesn't get
so. Who issues a patent? Who issues a patent? Okay, so government is the ultimate monopoly. We agree. You just agree. It is the ultimate
Wow.
monopoly. Government.
He's a
government has
fucking
the power
idiot.
to shut down business, to audit people they disagree with.
Talk about evergreen patents in the United States. It's right now pharmaceutical lobbyists who have.
No, I totally agree. You have nothing but agreement with me on
No,
that.
exactly. So how can you say that?
She's schooling him?
That's also the corporation.
I'm not defending that system, but you want to talk about excellence? We have the most amount of patents in the world that
Wow.
eradicate disease, that improve people's standard of living. It could be vastly. No, because it's a standard. Because patents in general.
Sorry, is everyone following this? He's posted this video genuinely saying he's destroying woke British students. They haven't even said anything woke for a start, but they are absolutely schooling him there on economic theory. And every single time they corner him, he moves the goalposts. It's fucking insane. How is he presenting this like a win? Actually, the important thing is, who's actually watching this video and going, oh yeah, Charlie Kirk won that?
That the entire Western world has not been able to duplicate or replicate.
Wouldn't you say that because the patent structure right now is terrible, and yes, we've had amazing patents.
It could be vastly improved.
Right.
I'm not defending the patent system, I'm defending the ingenuity that's embedded in the American spirit.
Fuck off. I'm defending the ingenuity in the American spirit. Well, fucking quantify that, arsehole. Go on, quantify that. You fucking idiot. Just moving goalposts. He absolutely has nothing to offer these kids. They're not kids anyway. That's actually disrespectful on my part. I'm sorry. These are very intelligent people. She, the one doing the main speaking, is clearly like several rungs above Charlie Kirk in intellect. You can clearly tell. And he has nothing for her. All he has is moving the goalpost and then claiming victory at the end. He's very definition of that meme where if you play chess with a pigeon, it knocks all the pieces over, it shits on the board, and then struts around like it won. That's very much Charlie Kirk in this video.
Years ago, we'd have even more.
Totally, yes, absolutely. So America's the greatest country ever to exist, but it could be even better. We're not a perfect country, but I'm gonna say it louder. America is the greatest country ever to exist.
He has nothing.
Prove me wrong.
Nagasaki, Fallujah, Syria.
Great does not mean perfect. Wait, how about World War II, pushing back the
He's loving it, that guy.
reclaiming Berlin.
Reclaiming Berlin. Is that a factor for the greatest country in the world? Reclaiming Berlin. Oh, so you think Russia's the greatest country in the world, Charlie? You fucking idiot.
Until the very end, when it was
The very end? You mean when over 300,000 Americans died in the European theater?
So I don't like this idea of America didn't join at the very end. America stayed neutral to like the last 2 years or so. It was there was the Lend-Lease agreement, and they basically gave allies weapons and stuff like that, and lots of loan. They made a shit ton of money off the back of that, by the way. And they did the same in World War One too, by the way. Just did a shit ton of profiteering off the back of that. But anyway, they didn't really come in officially until Pearl Harbor, when Japan wanted to expand its territory and it realised the US was there giving weapons and loans away to the Allies, and the Allies could potentially stop Japan's expansion. So Japan were like, let's bomb the fuck out of America to stop them making loans, stop them getting involved. And that got America into World War II officially. But that was just the last couple of years. It really was. And yeah, the American assistance did help in D-Day, but you know what? So did Australia's and New Zealand's and Canada's and Poland's and Norway's and all those other nations. There was 12 nations that took part in D-Day, I think, from memory, and America was just one of them. And you take any of those nations out, then yeah, we would have had less men to fight and probably would have done a little worse, been a little slower at least. But even so, even with all that strength, the Russians beat us to Berlin. It was the Russians that surrounded Berlin as Hitler killed himself. So, I mean, I don't know what your point is there, Charlie. I think the video's ending now.
You're trying to diminish the sacrifice of the boys of Iowa and Ohio and Pennsylvania.
No one did that, but okay. So is this what Turning Point UK is? It's so deep in the propaganda that they're just relying on people not to watch them, or people not to actually have comprehension of what's going on, so they can just claim victory and get away with it. I mean, I hate it, but you know what? That's a good racket if you're getting away with it, Charlie. And I've seen how much money he makes, ish. And at least I have an idea of it. So I guess it's a good racket for you, mate. But it's really fucking dishonest. You know you're being dishonest, Charlie, aren't you? You know it. Oh, you can't fool me. Oh, you're a fucking idiot, though. As if you put that on your channel and claimed it to be a victory. Both of those videos. You've got no fucking shame, you absolute dog end. Oh, fucking class.